Have you ever wondered what would have happened if Illidan had defeated Arthas during his final assault to the Frozen Throne? Now we know how Illidan's story turned out, so it's possible to imagine an answer to this question. So let's find out. For those who are foggy on the details, let's review what happened when Arthas and Illidan fought. Many people think that Arthas won only because he had a full plate armor and Illidan had no armor at all, but there's more to that. Illidan had a weird pact with Kil'jaeden going on, which doesn't make much sense now, but in any case, the Deceiver had commanded him to destroy the Lich King. Illidan had in his possession the Skull of Gul'dan and the Orb of Kil'jaeden, granting him a tremendous amount of power. You can only think that these legendary relics would give him the upper hand, but you must also know that Arthas was buffed by Ner'zhul's full powers, as we see on this cutscene.
We face a grave danger. My creator, the demon lord Kil'jaeden, sent his agents here to destroy me. If they should reach the frozen throne before you, all will be lost. The scourge will be undone. Now hurry. I will grant you all the power I can spare.
Illidan also had his powerful magic abilities plus thousands of years of combat experience. So what happened? The opinion around the web that I agree with is that Illidan got overconfident and lost mostly because of that. He trusted that his wings would grant him the advantage and he underestimated Arthas. But let's think for a moment that he actually won the battle. What wouldn't have happened in our timeline? There are many events that depend on this singular moment in history, but my favorite ones are the following. From the top of my head, there would be no Draenei in Azeroth. Without the Blood Elves attacking and taking Tempest Keep, the Draenei wouldn't have had the need to escape from Draenor. In consequence, there would be no Aldor-Scryer's conflict and the Naaru wouldn't have suffered any losses. Without the Lich King to harass them, the Drakari Empire would still exist. Without the Lich King, there's no need for a northrend campaign, so there's no rising to power for poor Garrosh. Also, there wouldn't be any Nexus Wars, since the Blue Dragons wouldn't feel threatened by Dalaran's presence in Northrend, and they wouldn't be pissed off with the mages. And, Dranosh Saurfang would still be alive. Yeah. In any case, let's question what would have happened then. First of all, Kil'jaeden knows that there must always be a Lich King. I am 100% positive on this. Without the Lich King, the Scourge would suffer a loss of control and thus Azeroth would burn. But Kil'jaeden doesn't count on Illidan's burning passion for protecting Azeroth and his need to redeem himself in front of the eyes of his brother and his people, especially Tyrant. So here's what I think how things would have turned out. After defeating Arthas, Illidan stares at the Frozen Throne and proceeds to make the climb. In a desperate attempt to survive, Ner'zhul whispers to Illidan's mind and commands the Demon Hunter to release him.
Release me from this prison.
Illidan then faces two possibilities, crowning himself as the new Lich King, or living up to his pact with Kil'jaeden and proceed to destroy this enemy once and for all. Instead of that, he chooses secret option number 3. Just as he absorbed the Skull of Gul'dan, he consumes all of Ner'zhul's remaining power, thus granting him the powers of not one but 2 former Orc warlords. Without its master, the Scourge suffers a massive loss of control, becoming mindless monsters, slaying even their necromancers and lich masters. But the living are also in danger. Azeroth is in danger. And before returning to Kil'jaeden to tell him of his success, Illidan stays in Northrend and uses his newfound power to hunt down and neutralize most of these undead minions. Far away, Lordaeron has become an undead hell. But not all hope is lost. Without the Lich King to control them, not all undead become mindless monsters. Many regained their freedom and their free will and decided to join Sylvanas and her new Forsaken. At the heart of the Plaguelands, those who survived the Undead Plague and the Scourge armies take refuge in the light, and from the ashes of Lordaeron and the Silver Hand arises the Scarlet Crusade. But Quel'Thalas is still swarming with undead minions, so Illidan allows Kael'thas, his most loyal servant and advisor, to return home and purge his lands. Illidan continues to destroy the Scourge in Northrend while Kael'thas burns the undead in Quel'Thalas. After their job is finished, they meet at the shores of Lordaeron and proceed to offer their help to the Scarlet Crusade. Illidan, Kael'thas, and Lady Vashj meet with Saidan Dathrohan, the Scarlet High Lord, but this man is in fact possessed by the Dreadlord Balmassar. Thanks to the cursed vision of Sargeras, Illidan reveals the demon's disguise and slays him in front of all the other Scarlet authorities. In shock, feeling manipulated and deceived, they pledge their allegiances to Illidan, who had saved them from a most terrible fate. Mograine Ashbringer proposes Talon Fordring as the new Scarlet leader, and as his first act, he pardons his own father, Tyrion Fordring, and officially restores his bond with the light. During their campaign to cleanse the land from the remaining Scourge forces, they encounter Sylvanas Windrunner and her Forsaken. Kael'thas recognizes her and begs his master and the Scarlet Paladins to spare her own life. The Blood Elf Prince convinces her to join Illidan's ranks, promising that with her help they would bring down not only the Scourge but the Burning Legion too, the true responsibles for the Undead Plague. These new, different Illidari work together to take up a massive campaign to bring the Scourge to an end. After a long battle at Stratholme, the Scourge is eventually and finally destroyed forever. Illidan then returns to Outland to meet with Kil'jaeden at last. Many are shocked to see that the Demon Hunter was in service of one of the Legion's masters, but in front of all his forces he backstabs and kills the Deceiver. And since Outland is within the Twisting Nether, Kil'jaeden dies forever. For his actions, Denaaru and Belen's Draenei make contact with Illidan and take him to Shatrath, where he also meets Khadgar. Now, he isn't the same Illidan that we met during the Burning Crusade. He isn't resentful for all of his failures. He hasn't betrayed anyone around him, and he's considerably less bitter. He is, instead of a loser, a true victor. Denaaru willingly cleansed the Sunwell too, and for this, Illidan becomes the eternal savior of the Blood Elves. Now both Kael'thas and Sylvanas would follow him to the end of the Abyss if it was necessary. And since Serra wants Illidan, Denaaru take him and his most trusted and loyal followers to Argos, the Abyss itself. There, Alleria is rejoined with her undead sister in most bittersweet encounter. Turalyon also has a moment for himself since he is rejoined not only with Khadgar but with Tyrion, being them two of the first 5 paladins that formed the Order of the Silver Hand under the tutelage of Alonso's Fail. Instead of rejecting Serra's gift, Illidan embraces it, seeing this as the final goal in his road to redemption. Now, after becoming the Chosen One, Azeroth finally has the champion she needs and deserves. With the power of the light, Illidan can finally face the Legion without being challenged. The only thing remaining is to destroy Sargeras and eventually to wipe away the Void Lords that threat and pollute Azeroth. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I would love to know what you think that would have happened, so please leave a comment below with your thoughts. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and visit my Patreon page to check out all of my work. All the links are below. Oh, and check Hypnos DeviantArt. I support him on Patreon and he lets me use all of his amazing art in my videos. See ya, guys!